So I just got home from work and I checked the YouTube account and I realized that it's been over 2 weeks since I threw a video up. So I figured that I would take some time tonight and make a quick video. So I don't really know. I didn't watch the last video, so I really couldn't tell you where I left off. But I know that I've done a few things since the last thing. So I don't even know if you can see in there. It's kind of dark. But basically, I made just a little. I bought a battery tie down, welded some nuts into the body down here, and just tie the battery down so that won't move all over the place. That's about it in the trunk. But anyway, so I got that done, which was one of the things I needed to do, which is great. And then finished up the wiring and got the bar back in here. So I moved the fuse panel from I think it's usually down by your feet somewhere up in the corner down there. I moved it right here. Worked out really good. I mean it's kind of ugly, but it works. I mean it's definitely functional. Wrapped some of the wire back here, and then the rest of it is in that wiring loom you might be able to see back there. I know the GoPro is kind of dark, so might not be able to see too well back in there because it's all I have is this one garage light on. But anyway, mounted this. I just welded this little this black piece here is another piece of metal that I welded on, drilled a couple holes in it, and then just zip tied the fuse box to it. And it's sturdy enough that it's not going anywhere. These green wires here are for the parking lights that I have yet to hook up. And then everything else back here is pretty much as tidy as I can get it. I've got it wrapped in this black loom stuff as far as I can get it until it kind of splits off in two different directions, and that's as good as I can get it. Got the relays there labeled. I probably don't need them labeled, but just in case anything goes wrong or gets disconnected, it's nice to have it, have it connected, and that way I know what's what. I bolted in the little switch panel here. So let's see. Cleaned out the floor a little bit. I still need to vacuum it and wipe it down, and then I'm going to spray paint it coming up here pretty soon. Cleaned out that side a little bit too. Same deal. I'm going to clean it up and spray paint it so it doesn't look so rusty and crap. Got the bar back in here, which is good. I just have it bolted on the sides here, so I have these bolts in there just because they're the right size, but I have two. I got to get two more for the other side, and then bolt that down tight. Everything on the switch panel works. The main lights work, and then the high beams work. So I think that's high, low, and strobe. They have three functions because they're actually just motorcycle headlights. So anyway, I'll probably drive with both of them if I ever need the high beams. You know what I mean? I'll turn both on, have the high beams aimed towards the side of the road more, and the low beams aimed towards the center because they don't throw as far, and they're more floods, and these throw really far because they're like super tight spot beams. So anyway, and then the accessories work. You can see that kicks the gauges on, and it also allows the windows to work, which are backwards, by the way. So this switch is up and down for that window, and this switch is up and down for that window. Because I actually had to mount the switch upside down because I couldn't find another good way for it to mount. So anyway, that's that. It kind of sucks, but whatever. Then the run is obviously the run position. You can see that turns on the rest of the panel, so the check engine light, so that's when it's actually in the run position. And then this last one, this is a momentary start, and it's just that's the ignition. So anyway. Turn signals also work. It's got to be in the run position, but turn signals work. That's just this here. Might be able to see it going up there. And I think I had those going in the last one, but I can't remember. I know I didn't have this bolted up in the last video, so yeah, I think I had that working last time, but I don't remember. I think my turbo might be sitting on the windshield wipers, but yeah, oh shit, okay, hold on. So, let me get that off of the mechanism there. Alright. So, alrighty, so the wipers work. I need to get blades for those. So there's low and there's high. Yeah, and they stop when you flip the switch off, they stop wherever they were, because I didn't hook up the there's like an electronic brake that basically like it lets it finish their cycle and comes down and then breaks it when it's at the lowest point. But I didn't hook up those wires because it was just kind of a pain. So anyway, you just have to time it, you know, and turn them off, which isn't hard. I mean, you can pretty easily turn them off when they're down. It's not like, you know, a big deal. So anyways, and then this wire that I have yet to hook up, this green one here, is just a fan. I just have to get that to go to ground, and then when it gets grounded, the radiator fans kick on. So, and then this one is the last wire that I've got to take care of as well. It's just a 12-volt hot, and it's going to get wired to this switch here, and this switch is just going to be some interior lights. I'm just going to put like a little, probably like an LED strip up under this lip up here, just so I have something that if I need it, you know, need to see, I can flick on the lights or whatever. And I think at that point, I'm also going to, I'm going to wire up the gauge cluster lights so that instead of always being on, because right now they're always on when the accessories are on, I think I'm just going to have those be as soon as I turn on any of the headlights, so probably just the parking light. As soon as I turn the parking lights on, those will kick on. That way they don't have to always be on. But anyways, so interior-wise, that's all I've got done, which is pretty much everything. I mean, it's just about done. ECU's bolted on. You can see the entire wiring loom is wrapped as much as I can get it. So let me think. I don't think anything else inside inside is going on. But then outside, I got an adapter for the airflow meter. I think last time I said that the airflow meter wasn't working, so I'll explain that here in a sec. But basically, I got this little adapter. I'm trying to get the placement of the airflow meter better. It's not great where it is right now. It kind of fits. There's a little cubby hole down here where the airbox used to fit in. I don't know if you can see that again. It's probably pretty dark. But anyway, so this kind of sits in there like that. But I don't really like it because it blocks like a whole quarter. I mean, you can see from here to pretty much here on the other side. I mean, it blocks this much of the air filter from getting good airflow. So I don't really like that too much. But again, I mean, I can't really move it much closer because I'll be sitting right up against the hood pipe here. So I think it's probably just going to sit there. I'm going to make a little bracket probably just to hold it in there, just until I can figure out something better to do with it. I've seen people make a U-pipe, have like a little, just a 180 degree tube and bring it out like up here, and I've seen people extend it up over so it sits in here. So really I've got to kind of look at that a little bit and think, brainstorm a little bit. I'll get back to the airflow meter here in a sec. But I got this hood pipe finally good. I ordered a T3 flange off of eBay, and then I just bolted that right onto the to the log manifold here, and then I TIG welded this pipe on there, so that's welded to the flange, and then the flange, this whole thing could be removed whenever I want to slap the turbo on there. So that turned out really nice. It's really solid. Works great. So the last part for that, I just have to weld an O2 bung somewhere along this so I can throw this O2 sensor in there. And then what else? I have to get a little breather for this little nipple here. This used to be the PCV thing that ran back into the intake, but I cut that off, so that's no longer there. I don't really know what I showed in the last thing. I know since I made the last video, we wrapped all the wiring and stuff up here, threw all that loom on there. Same with this side, we got the fuse block back mounted, so the wiring is pretty much done. The only thing that I'll have to take care of is this stuff, and this is for the parking lights. So that's it basically. The wiring is done, and everything works. It runs, and it runs good. So anyway, so now I'll show you about the air filter, or the airflow meter. So let me rip this off of here real quick and take it over to the bench. All right, hold on a second. Shit. Okay, so anyway, I got an adapter for it. They make these little square adapter things here. So it's this black piece and this silver piece here. And basically it takes the square opening and converts it to a round hole that this filter can mount on. So anyway, bought that, and then realized that the air filter didn't really work right. And so when I got the car, I opened this up on accident. I pulled out these 2 screws because I thought that's how you disconnected the airflow meter. Anyway, I ended up breaking these 2 pins inside of here, and so we had to resolder 3 of the pins actually. So we resoldered those, and then now it works perfect. So I just have to re-silicone that and put that back in there, and then it's good to go. So I already ran the car today. It runs perfect. It's not as loud anymore, which is really kind of nice, with the manifold on there and everything. And this pipe on there, it's actually not too loud. I mean, it's loud. It's a hood exit, but you know, it's not like unbearable. Like before, when I was running with them, when I had it running with no manifold and anything like that, it was like deafening. But now it's just loud. So anyway, that's pretty much everything. Tomorrow I'm going to be taking care of you know, tightening up these bolts, putting some bolts in the fenders where this meets, trying to close that gap up a little bit, just like that. And same down here, trying to close that gap a little bit. And then I might test fit the crappy hood, the one that's dented. I don't even know if I showed you guys that ever. But I have a nice hood that I bought, and a dented one that's dented up over here where it got in the wreck. So I might try to bang out some of those dents and cut a hole for the hood exit. That way I can at least have a hood, even though it'll look like junk. So yeah. So anyway, it's we're just about done, and I'm excited to have it wrapped up. I'm gonna go probably on like Tuesday. This is Sunday night technically. I think it's like 1:30 right now. So it's technically Monday morning. I'm gonna go Tuesday morning, I think, and go get this thing registered and insured and whatever, and hopefully have some videos of it driving around and sliding around pretty soon. So anyways, that's it. I will definitely make a video as soon as I get it registered and take it on the first drive. So later.